And I want to kick off with that notable absence, and notably the advisory council meeting today. Tom, Elon Musk was there, tech represented by Elon Musk and indeed the IBM CEO as well. What do you think that they were really responding to? Because such a tumultuous week in terms of tech's response to the Trump travel ban.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a huge week. We're really starting to get a strong picture of what Trump's orders are going to be like. What is he going to be like as president? Very much like the Trump we saw before the election took place. And tech has had different reactions to it. The travel ban sparked a very, very strong reaction across the technology sector, as you've been following every day here on Bloomberg. Travis Kalanick, at the outset, he was criticized for not having as strong of a reaction as some people would have liked. He was viewed, because he was part of the council, he was viewed as being a little bit too far in Trump's corner. And that really raised the hackles of a lot of his drivers, a lot of his customers.
Delete Uber trending?
Delete Uber started trending. Everything he did in response to this was criticized. He could absolutely do no right whatsoever. And so, very last minute, yesterday, Uber revealed that Travis would not be part of this council. He would not be coming to Washington. He made the realization that it was more in his interest to leave the council and save the business that he's been losing. I mean, we've learned that 200,000 people deleted their Uber accounts.
Wow.
That's significantly higher than what happens in any given week.
Yeah.
Now, they did get net adds, so they were still growing, but 200,000 is a big number, and that's something that Uber was really listening to. I was in an Uber car last night. My driver, unprompted, told me, I'm leaving Uber,
Wow.
I'm going to join Lyft, and it's because of the politics and the optics of Travis being part of this. And I asked him, well, what about him leaving the council? He said, doesn't matter, I'm concerned about the political ramifications.
Too little, too late, and many feel that actually Elon Musk going there at least can take some of the criticism from the technology, from Silicon Valley to Donald Trump. Well, that was sort of the clouds, I mean, the silver lining in technology that hit Silicon Valley this week. Sarah, the company you follow so closely, Snap, the owner of Snapchat, it was official.
They went public. Their filings that have been private for so long were exposed. We got to see their revenue numbers, their lack of profits. In fact, their loss was greater than their revenue. We got to see their user growth, and we got to see how it's been slowing a little bit. And
158 million.
158 million.
For us. It's less than Instagram.
It's less than Instagram. It's more than Twitter. It's a healthy company. I mean, this is a company that's had an impact on how we communicate. We're sending things more visually now. We're talking to each other in a way that's a lot more raw and natural, not the polished images we have on Instagram, right? Snap is much more about...
I like to say that you're embracing both Tom and I
yes.
in the view that we use Snapchat.
That I actually know how to use Snapchat. I'm one of the people who's not their target
honorary
audience.
millennials here.
But that's what they're trying to do, is educate, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting from the filing is that they're setting themselves up to not be compared to Facebook and Twitter. Now, I don't know if they're gonna get away with that, but they certainly don't want to frame themselves in the same way. They're not trying to conquer the world with their user growth. They say they only want to focus on developed countries with healthy mobile ecosystems where their video and image-heavy app is going to be able to work on the mobile phones.
Tom, it was a big week, not only in terms of IPOs being announced and public being able to get into the nitty-gritty of the details, but also the nitty-gritty of the earnings details coming from the likes of Apple, Facebook. Apple, break it down for us. We saw a significant pop in the shares.
Yeah, absolutely. People were a little concerned. There was questions about the average selling prices for the iPhones. Were people going to go to the lower selling phones? But the iPhone 7, the latest version of the iPhone, did very, very well during that crucial, absolutely, the even higher end of the two. During that critical holiday season, this is where Apple gets a lot of its sales, and they really came through this time around. And we saw some robust growth in some of the other earnings that we've seen. Facebook is another example where, you know, last quarter there was a little bit concern about them talking about, hey, we're going to spend, we're going to invest, and people asking the question, is this another Amazon where you're just going to like spend like sailors, right? With Facebook, I think they're really being given the benefit of the doubt right now.
We still saw more than 50% growth with Facebook's revenue, which is enough to keep investors happy for now. We saw a couple downgrades after the earnings hit as people are concerned about the future of increased spending.